Hi everyone, I'm back, and today's Synastry is between Victoria Beckham and her son Brooklyn. And wow, is this loaded. This isn't your typical mother and son dynamic. I'm talking revenge, power plays, and drama. From this Synastry, I see secrets, revenge, and power plays that run deep, and the asteroids are spilling the tea with every juicy detail. So I'm going to get into this. Victoria's Nemesis squares his Mars in Scorpio and trines his Pluto. So now with Nemesis, that energy that has to do with betrayal, and it's meeting Mars, that has to do with action, and Mars is a war planet, and Pluto, trining his Pluto, that has to do with primal power. Now, there's subtle sabotage behind the scenes with interference, and it's ignited by Brooklyn's Mars and given extra primal power by his Pluto, which is the higher octave of Mars, the war planet, like I said. So he feels her sneaky, covert influence, and when it squares his Scorpio Mars, it's like poking a sleeping bear just to see what's going to happen. And he might not even see it coming until it's baked into the family casserole, because there's a lot of drama going on with the whole family, but with the square, it happens behind the scenes. And Nemesis is sneaky enough as it is. And then, like I said, you've got a trine by Pluto. There's the extra added energy that makes this come into play. So, also, he has Mars in Scorpio in the second house, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and it's in dignity. So we have someone here who is very interested in, or he's motivated by power and control and security. And another thing with Mars and Scorpio, do not piss them off. They will burn your house down. Don't piss off a Mercury in Scorpio, I'm telling you. Now, Victoria's Lucifer conjuncts Brooklyn's Jupiter and Descendant. And this is ego and arrogance on steroids. And it's because of it's a battlefield within the relationship, because it's conjuncting the seventh house cusp. Now, her Lucifer says, the energy behind that is, she says, I'm right because I'm me. And his Jupiter is magnifying this into full-blown self-righteousness and arrogance, especially when they're face-to-face, because her Mercury conjuncts his Lucifer. So now we have a supersized energy thanks to Jupiter. So this self-righteous streak that Lucifer has the energy of, now she has all of this magnified because of Jupiter, and it comes with its own zip code. Now there's conversations and decisions become showdowns of intellect and arrogance. Now, and she's not going to back down, and neither is he. Now, her Medea conjuncts his moon, and his Medea conjuncts her Mercury. This is vengeful, strategic intensity. Victoria's words and her emotional influence will carry an edge of revenge and cunning, strategic power plays. This is all starting to come together. Medea has to do with revenge. Think about the movie The Godfather, all the stuff that went on there. That's what Medea has, that energy, like revengeful, especially because, and it's conjuncting his moon, a very important luminary in a Synastry chart. So she can provoke him mentally and emotionally, and sometimes it's subtle, calculated, and there's authority there and emotional control. Behind Medea's vengeance, she shows the power to dominate conversation and his emotional space. So if she influences both of these, both the emotional and the conversation part, the thinking the talking. So she tries to control or dominate what he thinks and what he feels. He's caught between reacting emotionally and intellectually. And her Pluto is conjuncting his ascendant. And when you have Pluto conjuncting your ascendant from the other person, in a romantic love relationship between two people that are sexually involved, you're going to find the Pluto person very weak in the knees. It gives you weak in the knees aspect, and it really touches you primally, and it's a sexy sort of energy. But now we have a mother and son synastry here. So this Pluto, with her Pluto conjuncting his ascendant, she's going to try to change him or fix him or control him. Now, also, her Atropus squares his moon and Venus. So here we go again with control and dominating energies. Atropus was the goddess of fate, and she held the scissors, and she decided when to cut the cord to decide the life and death of somebody. Now, since her Atropus is squaring his moon, it's like she's holding emotional pruning shears, and she's holding them at all times. One wrong move and cut. Emotional warmth is withdrawn, and material comfort, maternal comfort on pause, and the connection is on ice. Because Atropus squaring the moon, that's where your emotions are, and it's the cutting of the cord, cutting of the emotions, and everything is like turned to ice. And squares Venus, she's not just snipping the emotional heartstrings, she's trimming the love vines too. This can show up as undermining his relationships, questioning his partners, or casting a shadow over his sense of love and beauty. It's the equivalent of, I don't approve, served with a frosty sort of smile, if she's even capable of smiling. But with this, it just doesn't feel right. And it doesn't even feel right in his gut, in his intuition, and it's just very another sort of cutting of the cord of the emotional part just gets sort of wiped away. Now, her narcissist squares his sun, and this is ego combat at high noon. He wants to shine on his own, be seen for who he is, not just Victoria's son. But her narcissist energy throws a giant designer-clad shadow over him. She doesn't even have to say much. Her presence can feel like a constant measuring stick. So she's like silently judging or silently wondering, are you going to be living up to me? Are you going to live up to my standard? Are you going to narcissist? So she's like, are you going to be like an extension of me? Now, the result of this, every step towards independence feels like a tug of war over the spotlight between the two of them. He craves independence, and she craves recognition and the spotlight as well. So, again, see how this is all coming together, but there's more. I mean, all of this ties in together into a package that really explains a lot between the two of them and what's going on behind the scenes, because what you see in the media isn't really the whole story. Now, her Toro conjuncts his vertex 0 degrees. That is the tightest orb, and the vertex is like a second ascendant. So she is bossy mama big time, and she can also be a bully, in my opinion. Now, they have Sun square Neptune, double whammy. Now, Brooklyn's Sun is squared by her Neptune, and his Neptune is squared by her Sun. So this is like a fog rolling in for both of them. Nothing is quite the way it seems. Words can be misinterpreted. Love can get tangled up in this sort of fog, idealization, and Her Neptune is like she's casting a misty, idealized veil over him, over his sense, who he is. It's like she projects fantasies, hopes, and an over idealized version of herself onto him. And she blurs the lines between reality and imagination. So with the double whammy, this projection gets magnified. It happens on both sides. So nothing can really get through with clarity. There's a sense of, wait, is this really happening? Is this really him? Or am I just imagining this? It's like an energy where clarity is always just out of reach with Neptune. And this is, like I said, especially magnified because it's a double whammy. It's on both sides. Now, her Mercury in Aries, it makes an inconjunct to his Mars in Scorpio. And the inconjunct is at 150 degrees. And this really is a very difficult aspect to have between two people in a synastry chart, because this is, it takes a while for it to show up, but automatically, without fail, I can tell you that there will be a communication breakdown when you have Mercury making a inconjunct to Mars. Her words are fast, fiery, and impulsive, and Aries doesn't do anything subtle that way. And his Mars in Scorpio reacts with all-consuming, like, intensity, turning even a casual conversation or comment into a flare-up or an argument. And the inconjunct here means that there's constantly misfiring at each other. It's a blind spot. Inconjuncts are blind spots, and neither one of them can fully get why there is a disconnect. It takes a ton of self-awareness and a boatload of compassion and realization and communication skills to work through this. And usually the only way to work through inconjuncts when it comes to breakdowns in communications is with a therapist. This is like, whenever I see inconjuncts, I say, oh, here comes the therapist aspect. So that's the cosmic tea on Brooklyn and Victoria. Fiery words, secret betrayals, and explosive emotions and arguments. So if you want to, I just lost my train of thought there for a second. If you would like to hear about more synastry charts and more drama, like, subscribe, and share to support my channel. And I will be back soon. Have a great day.